This is the Almost Timely newsletter for March 27th, 2022. On my mind this week, the importance of regulars. How well do you know your regulars? In marketing, we love to make things unnecessarily fancy and unnecessarily complicated, don't we? We talk about communities, influencers, marketing automation, lead scoring, purchase propensity, whole mouthfuls of corporate jargon that kind of sanitize and dehumanize ordinary experiences. It's probably the fault of consulting firms. And yet, if we want to be successful as marketers, we have to understand these ordinary experiences. I was talking with my martial arts teacher, Mark Davis of the Boston Martial Arts Center, the other week about businesses that survived the pandemic and businesses that did not. And two factors in most corporate analyses and Harvard Business Review articles, two factors typically differentiate survivors, resilience and agility. Businesses that had healthy margins and a war chest of money had resilience. They survived the first few weeks or months when everything was completely shut down, when you couldn't leave your house. But if their business models were predicated on the way the world worked before, on the way the world used to be, eventually they ran out of money, right? Only those businesses that had agility, the ability to change, to adapt to changing conditions, were able to continue on. We saw plenty of examples of this, right? Restaurants that went to delivery, yoga studios that started offering classes online, same for martial arts schools. A lot of companies went through pretty much a mandatory digital transformation as part of the pandemic. Now, none of this is news, right? We've all read countless articles and case studies about business models that have been successful in the pandemic. But one of the most overlooked factors in these studies and articles is the customers. In this case, one very specific kind of customer. We have all sorts of fancy names for finding these customers and doing data analysis on them. Techniques like RFM analysis, recency, frequency, and monetary value. But at the end of the day, we all know this customer by heart. Sometimes we aspire to be this customer. That is the regular. When the regular walks into a restaurant, the staff greets us by name. Hey, Chris, your usual table. Or, hey, Chris, the usual, when the server wanders over. They recognize us, they know us, and as long as we're, decent humans, they like us as much as we like them. We may not be the biggest spenders on a per transaction basis, but we have insane lifetime value because we're there every week, maybe even more than once a week, right? We are loyal to these businesses as consumers, and in return, we get a level of personalization that other customers do not. These businesses, diners, restaurants, martial arts schools, yoga studios, whatever, don't have or need any special software or marketing technology to know who their regulars are or how to treat them. Right? They know us because of their loyalty to them and what's ultimately a very human experience. So why does this matter? As I said, I was talking to my teacher, and he said the reason our martial arts school survived when something like 70% of the competing schools in the area didn't is because of the regulars. Long-time, loyal students who kept paying the bills, who kept their memberships and stuff, even as the services changed, as lessons went online for months at a time. That's what kept the school afloat. Now, this is key. Not only does your business need agility, so does the customer. And a customer's agility is directly proportional to their loyalty. Let's say that again. A customer's agility is directly proportional to their loyalty, to how much of a regular they are. Ask any restaurant that pivoted to online food delivery and takeout during the pandemic what kept them afloat. It wasn't changing business models. It was also that they had a stable of regulars that still wanted their food and were willing to change how they got it, right? My local Vietnamese restaurant, we used to eat there once a week. We changed as consumers. We still like their food, but now, for going on 2 years, instead of eating there every week, we just get takeout from there every week. The business is still earning money because they provide a great product. They provide a great service. The modality has changed, but what powers it is that loyalty. right? Is that willing to be a regular? So here's the question for you. How well do you know your regulars? What kind of relationship do you have with them? Do you recognize them on site? Maybe you're saying, well, I don't have a yoga studio or a martial arts business or something. I don't know. I don't see my regulars come in the door. Yeah, you do. You've got things like marketing automation software. When I send out this newsletter every week, I look at who opens it and who opens it week after week after week. Those are my regulars, right? I may not necessarily be selling something to everybody, but you're still here. You're still watching. You are a regular. And I thank you for that. Who are your regulars? Who is your company's regulars? Who are the people that read your blog, listen to your podcast, open your newsletter, interact with you on the social media channel of your choice? And what are you doing for them? That's the critical part. Just like when I walk into my local Vietnamese restaurant and I call in my order, they say, "Hey, Chris, here's your 3 things of soup." They have a routine for dealing with regulars. How well do you know your regulars? And what routines do you have to recognize and support them? In other things this week, the stuff, if there's something I wanted you to take a look at, it would be the walkthrough I did on the Trust Insights live stream of migrating the Marketing Over Coffee Google Analytics account to Google Analytics 4. We did this on Thursday afternoon live. You can watch the replay over on the YouTube channel and just see all the button pushing. So it was not just theory, actual making it happen. Of course, make sure to check out the new How to Prove Social Media ROI course, free from Agorapulse for a little while longer. You can find that at provesocialroi.com. New jobs this week. I got a bunch from the American Chemical Society, but the top one there is Assistant Director of Audience and Product Marketing. We also still have the Marketing Operations Manager position at FlowHub, Content Strategist at Salesforce, and a few others. So some good work opportunities there. In the news this week, we have how to check out the quality of your Facebook ad traffic by our friend John Loomer. Always a good guy. Some SEO split testing stuff. And what not to do in corporate communications. This week, Applebee's kind of really totally screwed the pooch when they had an executive who basically said, hey, with all these inflationary costs, this is a great time to pay your employees less. Even if you're going to think something like that, maybe even say something like that, don't put it to an all-company email. It's just a bad idea. Right? It always gets out. So some more things to read there. And of course, the B2B Web Analytics replay is on there. And as I say every week, if you've got an extra $1 or $2 laying around, or the currency of your choice, the Ukraine Humanitarian Fund is always in need of help to help repel the Russian invasion and provide for its citizens. Upcoming events, I'll be at the Marketing Profs B2B Forum virtually in a couple weeks. I'll be doing a session on content marketing analytics. I'll be doing a workshop at the MarTech conference. And I'll be out in Cleveland, Ohio in August for MAYCON. If you have an interest in attending the Marketing AI conference, use discount code PEN150 for $150 off any conference ticket. I will be also at the Marketing Profs B2B Forum, the first physical one in October here in Boston. So if you're going to be in town for that, drop a line and say hi. That's all for this week. If you enjoyed this newsletter, please do share it with a friend. You can share the email version or the LinkedIn version or the YouTube version. Doesn't matter. But thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.